Welcome to another episode of the Digimon TCG. Today's episode is called Subzero Ice Punch, the actual 9th episode of the Digimon Adventure series. For this episode, I'll be going over jamming, a passive effect for certain Digimon that prevents them from being deleted when they attack into the security. Some colors have multiple members in this category, while other members have none. And who better to start off today's episode than Frigimon himself, who has an attack called Subzero Ice Punch. Frigimon is a 4 hard cost, 2 Digimemory to Digivolve into Digimon with 4000 DP. While the hard cost and the Digivolution cost are pretty average, his stats are below average. But the thing about jamming Digimon, especially level 4 Digimon, is that they all have these stats. Red, yellow, and green have equivalents in Tyrannomon, Caesarmon, and Ogremon, all of which have the exact same memory cost, Digivolution cost, and stats. Purple unfortunately does not get a Digimon with jamming, and Black's jammer comes in the form of Greymon Black, but it's only inheritable. With Special Booster 1.0, there is also a release of a level 6 Digimon that is also a Royal Knight. It is acknowledged by the other Royal Knights, according to the wiki page, as the Strategist. Although the English name is Leopardmon, I definitely prefer Duftmon. And for being the strategist of the Royal Knights, it makes sense. What better way to lead than to provide optimal direction for your smaller Digimon than jamming? Digivolving into Leopardmon costs 4 memory, which is quite hefty for even blue decks. However, with memory conservation, one can mitigate these costs. When digivolving into Leopardmon, Leopardmon pulls a level 4 from the Digivolution stack onto the board. And while she exists on your field, all of your level 4 and lower Digimon get jamming. This helps out other Digimon like Secret Rare Vidramon from Booster 1.0. While this Digimon does not have jamming, you can give it jamming via Leopardmon. In addition, while you have a blue Tamer card in play, this Vidramon can unsuspend itself. A neat trick to get twice the security eliminated. From what I've observed, jamming seems to be dominantly with blue cards after Booster 1.0. In Booster 1.5, we can expect Imperial Dramon decks to be widely popular. Another copy of Vidramon from the original Booster 2 has its own passive jamming effect. Vidramon's next step in the evolution, Aero Vidramon, gains jamming when it's unsuspended, which, funny enough, when you digivolve into it, it can suspend 1 Digimon on the field if you have a blue Tamer on the field. Meaning you can unsuspend itself, if you attacked with the level 4 below it beforehand. The Vmon family line has a lot of Digimon in it that have some sort of effect that gives jamming, or an additional effect if the Digimon has jamming. Take Demi-Vmon, the baby level 2 Digimon. For its inheritable effect, when you attack, if this Digimon has jamming, draw 1 card. Vmon himself has jamming, but with stats like that, he's just asking to be attacked. Going back to level 5 Digimon, Vmon not only gives us Aero Vidramon, but Paildramon and Dino-Beamon, both of which are DNA Digivolution forms of X-Vmon and Stingmon. Oh wait, or is it Stingmon and X-Vmon? Paildramon is a 3-cost evolution from green or blue, meaning you can run this in either green or blue. The hard cost is 7, with pretty average DP of 7000. However, this Digimon has a passive jamming effect and an inheritable effect of, when attacking, once per turn if this Digimon has Imperial Dramon in its name, unsuspend it. You know what that means. This Digimon digivolves into Imperial Dramon. Dino-Beamon has the same Digivolution requirements as Paildramon, but its hard play cost is a little bit more expensive at 8 memory. But while this Digimon has a passive jamming and piercing effect, it doesn't have an inheritable effect. But that jamming and piercing effect is so nice though. I can't help but feel like running both. Which brings me to the last Digimon in Booster 1.5 with jamming, Imperial Dramon. Imperial Dramon is a 13 hard cost Digimon or 5 cost to digivolve into. However, if you digivolve from Paildramon or Dino-Beamon, the evolution cost is reduced by 2, therefore making it 3. And besides jamming, this Digimon has one additional effect. When digivolving into this Digimon, unsuspend all of your Digimon with jamming. So you've loaded a Vmon and a bunch of jammers on the field and they've attacked? You've got 3 memory? No problem. Let's unsuspend all of them and do it again. And here's the thing, even after Booster 3, which is where Imperial Dramon originally came from, jamming returns in Booster 4 Great Legends. Beowulfmon, a hybrid level 5 Digimon, costs 7 to play, or 3 to digivolve into from a blue Digimon. And while its passive effect is jamming, it adds an additional level of safety by having one other effect. During your opponent's turn, while this Digimon's Digivolution sources include a Digimon card with Hybrid in its form, or a blue Tamer card, it cannot be attacked. And I'm not gonna lie, this is one Digimon I am definitely excited for. And with other cards in Booster 4, it breathes life into current cards from 1.0 that weren't being used. With jamming has found a home predominantly in blue in later sets. And while the effect is amazing to prevent deletion against security Digimon, you still trigger security Digimon if they have an effect. In addition, you also still trigger option cards. Although not a Digimon with jamming, if buffed, War Greymon from Booster 1.0 is the king of security checks. But keyword here is buffed. With Booster 5, Battle of Omega, jamming makes another appearance in the form of Hex Blaumon, a new level 6 Digimon that combines several aspects of blue. When attacking, this Digimon discards 2 evolution sources from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. In addition, if your opponent has any Digimon with no Digivolution sources, this Digimon gets jamming. But remember when I mentioned blue had lots of Digimon with this gimmicky effect like removing Digivolution sources but not really doing anything to the Digimon to stop it? This Digimon changes all of that. On both players' turn, all of your opponent's Digimon with no evolution sources cannot attack or block. The strategy here will be playing into this, and then choking your opponent's memory to 1 each turn. By giving them only 1 memory, it will be next to impossible to digivolve and attack security. It'll result in them passing turn immediately, and you'll rip the Digivolution from underneath that freshly digivolved Digimon. I anticipate some crazy things for blue in the future, since there's only a few cards in the game that can target suspended Digimon. And not only does this hard counter Rookie Rush, but it also counters Mega Zoo potential. Now the downside is there's no way to negate destruction right now in blue, which makes it vulnerable to Gaia Force, Omnimon, Omnimon Alter S, and can be attacked over by Chaosmon if it's digivolved into. But still, get excited. And like I mentioned in previous episodes, the next couple of episodes may be shorter, considering each Digidestined's Digimon doesn't reach level 5 for a bit. Meaning I'm not going to go over level 4s again or anything like that. But keep in mind, from the Digimon series, the next episode is called A Clue from the Digi-Past. And I'll be looking at the legacy Digimon card game that was butchered to all hell in America, Hyper Coliseum. Stay tuned for things that this game did well, and things it didn't do too well.